I'm excited. Today is opening day. A lot to talk about. I wanted to get this video out yesterday, but I didn't realize how long these Excel spreadsheets were going to take, and I don't really know the rules and regulations of, I have paywall stuff that I usually use for my research and stuff like that, and I didn't really know what I could display, what information I could give from that. Long term, maybe, hopefully, that would be the idea, is to have my own and it would be able to share with you guys and whatever the case might be. But as for now, I went through, and as you can see, I made some Google Docs and got a little bit of information for each game. And that's pretty much what we're going to do, is just talk about it. Because I don't have a lot of time, it's early in the morning on opening day. I'm pumped, and I want to get this out as early as possible. So I might run this without cuts, and we'll see how it goes. As for the first game, we have Evaldi versus Means. Give me comments, give me feedback of how much you do or how much you don't know. I'm not going to go super in depth with meanings and terminology and stuff like that, only because I can only assume if you're looking at this video, you know most of it. Maybe that's wrong to do, but anyways, first game we got right here is Evaldi versus the Baltimore Orioles. I really don't have a play here with either pitcher. I know Evaldi throws hard, and a lot of people, love speed, and what he did in the playoffs a few years ago was a big deal, but I really don't have a good solid play here. I love the hitting in this game. Now with Baltimore's side, I'm not a big fan of Mullins and stuff like that, but if I went anywhere, it would be, more of the Mancini and Mountcastle. Something that stuck out looking at this early on was Austin Hayes. Great spring training right here. That DK price, is that right? Baltimore, Trey Mancini. Or no. We're looking at Austin Hayes. 2.1K. 4 home runs in the spring. Over 1 OPS. Let's see his BVP. 4 for 8. I mean, dude, that screams. That screams all day. I know it's outfield, and outfield is pretty tough, but I know Severino's struggling during the spring, and Cisco could get some at bats, but really besides that, I used to be a Freddie Galvis fan big time, but kind of burned me last year, and he's kind of streaky. He doesn't look like he's on the good streak as of now. Again, and I know, spring training is spring training. Like, you can't put too much into it, but it is what it is. Baseball is a game of most of the time it's, hot or cold, how bats are running and pitchers and yada, yada, yada. So, again, I'm not big on, Evaldi, but I really, that besides a few pieces off Baltimore, I'm not, big on them. I think they slap them around for a few. And, if anybody connects, it's Mancini, Mountcastle. I think Hayes could get a few hits here. Franco doesn't look like he's seeing the ball well, but he's good for a home run or two. Not two really, but Royal days last year, just randomly, if you're a longer DFS player, it's like Santander's hitting okay during the spring, but really that's about it. Evaldi, another thing is too, again, it's the first podcast, so I gotta assume, hopefully you know what you're doing, but if not, let's say you are interested in one of these players, what I would do is go through and look up these guys' splits. So, this is 2020, so let's do Ryan Mountcastle. And it's pretty simple. Search their name, usually ESPN. So, ESPN will give you last year's splits. And what I mean by splits is the only thing I really go after is verse left, verse right. So it looks like Mountcastle tore up righties, but actually was kind of versus lefties last year. Look at the OPS difference, the average difference. 5 home runs, 0. So, I mean, ideally, you would want to play Mountain Castle versus a righty. And that looks like that's what we have here. So, again, good play. I do like it. I mean, not a great average, but it is what it is. I have this one up as a reference, too, because if it's not 2020 and if you want to see, like, we'll talk about it, actually, with Kike. His 2020 stats were kind of even, but if you look at his overall career, Kike naturally just destroys lefties over righties. I mean, if you've been around the baseball game long enough, you know this, but just, again, explaining it to everybody. Because if you look at Kike last year versus lefties versus righties, somehow he hit righties better, and I think it was because he had a 2 home run game against some bullpen pitcher last year or something, and it was only a 60-game year or whatever. But yeah, so I really do use splits a lot with pitchers and hitters, especially ones that I'm trying to use, like pitchers. You want to see what lineup they're going against, what they K up better. If it's all lefties or what if they get more home runs, whatever the case might be. Or you want to use it in the other way, that they give up more home runs to righties, and you want to use it offensively, yada, yada, whatever. But, again, for this game, like I said, a few hitters. Evaldi's, I'm pretty sure his ownership's supposed to be pretty high. Again, I don't know how much information I can really give up. No, it doesn't look that high. So, I don't really see it as a punt play. 6-3, I guess you could, but I don't really see it. Now, this side I love. Meansy, I respect the guy. I don't think he's the best pitcher. I don't think he's the worst. He's one of those guys that you pick on and you get wrong, and you don't pick on him and he winds up, you pick on him and then he throws a 7-inning, 7K 2-runner, and you don't pick on him as an offense, and then he winds up just getting shelled, right? It's just, he's complicated. But if you have to take a stance, I know there's a chance of rain out in Boston today. It's cold. Winds are blowing left or right, which actually, so I use roto grinders. I pay for them. I use a few others, but I use them specifically because I like their lineup HQ. Some tools like Weather Edge and Weather Report and stuff like that. Don't know how much I can say. I know I'm going to say that a lot until I can figure it out, but their Weather Edge has this game being bad. So take it for what it's worth, because most games today are bad. It's cold, winds are blowing, whatever, but it does not like the game as a batting perspective. So, if you wanted to counterpoint and say you like these pitchers, maybe you do, and use the weather as your fan, but I'm not going that way. But anyways, I love the offense here. It's not the best hitting environment, but I mean, dude, Boston went crazy during spring training. I mean, look at these averages. Look at these home runs. Look at these OPSs. So Kike, back to the conversation earlier, smashes lefties. JD smashes lefties. I don't know why that's annoying. Devers is pretty even split. I know, like, his rookie year, he smashed lefties, and then his sophomore year, he smashed righties. Like, maybe this year's lefty year, I don't know. But Renfroe smashes lefties. So, this, honestly, I could see as a full cheap stack, playing the whole thing through and through. I mean, prices aren't too bad. You're paying a lot. I mean, you're paying more, and I love Xander and Devers, but you're paying more for Xander and Devers than JD. I mean, JD smokes lefties. He's traditionally known to smoke them. He's an offensive hitter, 286, only one bomb. I mean, that's fine. Xander's not hitting the ball well. Devers isn't hitting the ball well. Renfroe might be the play of the day, hands down. Him, Kike, I love Dahlbeck. He is crushing the ball right now. 7 home runs. I think that led spring training. Another one I don't have out here is Michael Chavis. I don't think he was. So I got these lineups from MLB.com. Again, doing it early in the morning, no lineups have been set. So we can only do what we can do. And with this podcast, that's kind of what I want to do, is just give you an early, maybe something in the background to listen to while you're working or getting your mind right, before all the lineups come out and you can dig deeper. Just kind of an overview of everything. Shout out to the Roto Grinder crew. They have what's called the morning grind, and that's something I do every single day is listen to them, get their, perspective. And, they're not always right. I definitely won't always be right, but it's more or less like just open your mind. Maybe if you only take two things from it, so be it. Maybe I say something that opens your mind to lead something else. Whatever. Just to open the door, get you started. That's all we're here for. And, eventually down the road, I would like I don't know. I'm still working full time, but if I could do all of this full time, do a different podcast after lineups are built or go live or, a lot of that stuff would be ideal. But right now, I think we're only going to do the wake up, bank up, just because it makes the most sense. So I can do it the night before, whatever the case might be. Anyways, back to the conversation. Again, love the Red Sox stack. Even if you had to circle here, I know we're going to come down to one game and everybody's waiting on it, but good old Coors. And if you don't know what Coors is Colorado, the ball flies, big ballpark, good for fantasy hitters. And we got the number one offense, in my opinion, in the league playing in Coors. So I know it's pretty much what you want to stack up with Coors. I get it. But, if you want to go contrarian, ownership-wise, love this game. More love this side, but the pieces on the other, the 3 or 4 on the other, you could put with it. BVP-wise, I mean, dude, look at it. JD, 3 bombs off him. Bogarts. I mean, dude, this game just lines up. It just lines up. Yeah, perfect. All right, next game we got, what is it? Kenta and Woodruff. That's what it is. So we have Kenta Maeda and Brandon Woodruff. And if you see me looking over my right screen, it's the paywall or whatever. Eventually, like I said, that will be on the main screen so you can see kind of what I'm clicking through and everything, and we can work together, but let's get there first. So, Brandon Woodruff. So, pitching-wise, I think weather looks good out there. Minnesota. Is that a roof closed? Is this in Milwaukee? No. Am I missing? Is this in Milwaukee? Am I tripping? Yes. Okay, never mind. Roof's closed. Milwaukee, actually, for a roof closed environment, actually plays to the hitter's advantage a little bit. I think it's pretty neutral compared to like Arizona, Miami, and Texas. If the roof's open, you play the bats. The ball just flies out there. Me living in Texas, obviously, I miss the old 110-degree days, and you just picked both sides of the offense and go watch a game and just watch the hitters go crazy. But Kepler, Twins, I love Woodruff. He doesn't give up much for average. He Ks up both sides. He's just a good pitcher, man. This is 2 pretty good offenses versus 2 pretty good pitchers. Now, if I had to lean one way in this game, it would probably be both pitchers. Now, I don't think I'm going to have a huge ownership. I know Woodruff, I think he's projected to be the highest owned pitcher of the whole slate, which is crazy, but it's not, because Minnesota strikes out a lot, but their offense is so powerful. So, terminology, when you talk about GPP compared to cash, it's a GPP play. I wouldn't put him in cash, right? Cash, you play someone more in the middle that doesn't have high variance. GPP is going to be I mean, boom or bust, which this screams out, right? So, yeah, Woodruff's in a 9-game slate. Woodruff is projected pretty high. So, where will I be riding that ownership? Probably a little bit under, to be completely honest with you. I think there's a lot of people in that area that could match him, but I think he's a really good pitcher. Minnesota Strikes had a lot, but they have some bats on this team. It doesn't look like there's not much history. No, I mean, dude, maybe 12, 15 at bats. Jeffers hit him a couple times, so I don't really, it could. He's only 8K, so he only needs to get essentially 24 points ish to make number. Actually, what is it? 2.5. So it's like 20 points, which is very doable. Again, I just see the same opportunity in some other pitchers with lower ownership that don't go against the Minnesota Twins that I think I might lean towards. So if you were to play this game, obviously Kepler, goodness gracious, 3 hits and 45 at bats. I mean, the price is right, but wow. Okay. Again, spring training, but that's got to be concerning. Donaldson, I mean, he smashes both sides. Cruz smashes both sides. Polanco's hitting the ball well, so, I would go there. Gosh, dang. Look at these averages. Again, it's spring training, but, I mean, those are live at bat, so that's pretty painful to see. No one's hitting the ball. Did Nolan Ryan just come out of retirement and play him 10 games in a row? I mean, that's brutal. Luis, average guy, no home runs. I mean, their power bats are striking out a lot. Look at this. Kepler, not so much. Donaldson. I mean, that's still 1 every 4 at bats. Sano's striking out a 50% clip right now. I actually think I might just talk myself into matching ownership. I don't think I'm going to go over, but that's brutal. In baseball, take everything with a grain of salt because baseball is one of those that, like basketball and football and other sports, you can put a lot of stats and paper and all this research, and it plays out more with that rather than baseball is so volatile and so Woodruff could get, let's say Woodruff's just streamlining 5 games in a row of just no hitter, something stupid, right? And he's going up against, no offense, Pirates fans, but the Pirates today. You're like, dude, I'm all in. I'll eat ownership. And baseball is such a weird game that, dude, Woodruff could throw 4 walks in the first inning, someone hits a grand slam, and he's pulled. It's just, now the odds of that happening aren't very high, but just to keep everything in mind, it is baseball. This is starting to look like a good play. Don't know how much I'm going there, but I am starting to like Woodruff a lot more after looking at this. But let's move on. We got Kenta, who is a stud. I mean, look at those averages. Again, same ballpark. Strikeouts aren't as high. I would pull up his strikeout percentage, but it might take a little longer. So the lineup for Milwaukee is just kind of, they got pieces, right? I'm a huge fan of Avisail Garcia. I don't think he starts today, but I wish he would because he's crushing spring training. Let's see if anything's been updated. I don't think so. No. Sorry, I'm reloading. See if any lineups are out. No. So Wong is not much of a hitter. Now he's having a good spring training, so it's the exact opposite, right? I mean, Minnesota has good bats, not hitting well right now. Will that play into the season? I don't know, but Wong's having a good spring training. Kane's looking all right. Yelich, man, dude, I'm telling you, comeback player of the year, top 3 MVP again. People are dogging him. Pure hitters don't lose how to hit, period. They just don't forget how to hit, But I could see Yelich opening up today. I think he had good BV. Just kidding. I lied to you. I thought maybe he had good BVP, but he doesn't. Love Yelich. Wong, 4-1 isn't appetizing. Kane, I've never been a big fan of playing. He's just not the same speed. See, stolen bases aren't there. He's going to be more of a home run every now and then, maybe a couple hits, whatever. I'm a big fan of Keston. Hitting pretty good, hitting from popping. I do believe Keston hits righties better than lefties. So that's where you go to splits, Cura, ESPN. I use ESPN for last year. It's just easier. They have a better UI versus righties. So again, hit lefties better last year. But Keston, Cura, was it the minors he hit? Righties better. Splits. Yeah, so again, here you go. This is 2019. But look at the difference, right? So if you just go off ESPN, it shows he hits lefties way better. 241. He does have a better OPS versus righties. Better average. But look at this. Versus righties, 322 average. Over a 1 OPS versus righties versus 240 to 673. So he smokes righties. Now, again, it's his third year in the league. What I'm saying is he's going against a righty. Career-wise, he's smoked righties. Kenta's good, so it kind of averages back down. He's having a good offseason. I like him. I like Yelich. Wong's okay. Bradley's a streaky guy. Doesn't look like he's on his good streak right now. No home runs, no real pop. Keston, he's 4.7. It's not cheap. Omar's 3. He's a home run or bust kind of guy. He's actually seen the ball okay. 273, 3 bombs. Travis Shaw, man, dude, he goes on these streaks where he hits like 5 home runs in 4 games. And you got to catch him, because if you don't, you're going to catch the 4 games of 0 for 12 with 10 Ks, right? Luis Urias, big fan of him in the minor leagues. Big fan of him, was it Padres last year? Last 2 years, whatever. Just didn't pan out. It happens. But it looks like we're finally starting to see kind of what we saw in the minor leagues. 3.0, that's a good price. Avisel, 3.3, dude. If he plays, 3.13. He's cut up. He's lost weight. He's fast. Now he's not a stolen base threat, but dude just hits, man. He just hits. Anything in the BVP section? Not really. Yelich hits him per average. Wait. Did I say he didn't have BVP? I don't know, man. It's early. Leave me alone. So he does have a little bit. I mean, average-wise. Not much for OPS. 1 double, but that's all I about see. 2 doubles for Shaw. He hits him okay. So my Shaw fans, there you go. Keston, 1 for 6. Jackie, not much. So, again, a few pieces in this game. Not huge into it. I don't really see myself playing Kenta. Let's see what projection-wise. He's going to be lower owned. He projects okay. I mean, he pitched well last year. Just not huge on either side. I like pieces, but that's about it. Pittsburgh. So there will be games like this where, no offense, there's not much to it, right? Let's get the pitchers up. So we have Hendricks versus Cole. Not a fan of Cole. Oh, so if you play Wrigley, you have to know weather. If the wind is blowing in, you play the pitchers. And the wind's blowing out, you play the bats. I mean, it's one of the most volatile games based on weather of any ballpark. I mean, it might be number 1. So for today, we're projecting 17-mile-an-hour winds in at 35 degrees. The ball ain't going nowhere. So huge bump to pitchers. Now saying that, well, this game, yes, I can say this. Love Hendricks in the spot. One of my main plays. I'm not a huge DFS Hendricks player, but the weather screams it's going to go bad for Pittsburgh. Now, could it get BABIP'd? Meaning pretty much he pitches well and they keep hitting little Texas leaguers over first? Sure. Yeah, anything's possible. But there shouldn't be any home runs really in this game. Unless someone like Jock hits it, right? But I understand Pittsburgh's hitting the ball, spring training, like really well. They have like Kevin Newman, didn't he break the record for highest average in spring training or something? But anyways, Frazier's hitting the ball well. He's dangerous when he's hitting well. Brian Hayes is the next up-and-coming star. Big fan of Reynolds. I think he's a solid hitter. Colin Moran was the big trade for Garrett Cole, I believe. Hasn't lived up to it, but he's dangerous when he's good. Polanco, sorry, Pirates fans. I just don't think he's it. I mean, I know he had that 1 year, then he got busted for steroids, and he hasn't been good since. Kevin Newman's a little slash hitter. So you can see the writings on the wall with, being a BABIP game. Just the Miami Marlins of the last few years they're not a great offense, but they just put the ball in play, and so pitchers usually don't grade well. But that's Kyle Hendricks' MO. So unless he gets singled to death, he's going to go throw 7 innings, 4 or 5 strikeouts. How much is he? He is, sorry about that. Hendricks is 7.7, so he will need 21 points or so. I see no problem getting there. So going back to GPP to cash play, Hendricks is your cash play, period. I don't see anything around it. He's 7.7. He's almost guaranteed 20 points today. They should get the win. What is DraftKings? Is that 4 or 5 points? So 20. I would put him personally. If they let him pitch, so I could see him getting up to 25 points or so. Sorry, we're going no cuts today, so you get to see me drink coffee. But yeah, don't like the offense. I mean, if you want to sprinkle Cabrian, just because he's a stud, he can run. That's about it. I know this is messed up. I stayed up till like 2 a.m. doing this stuff, but he can run. He's good. Cabrian's good. Oh, I see it now. He didn't play 51 games played. This is one slide over. All right. Well, he hit 431, whatever. You get it. So, Pittsburgh, not great. Hendricks, ground baller, not much strikeouts. Pretty simple. Cubs side, I do like the bats here. I don't think Chad Cole's very good. Lots of hard contact. I mean, doesn't strike out much. Does have a low average versus righties. Does a little bit better, but Ian Happ's hitting the ball great. Contreras hitting the ball great. Rizzo's hitting the ball great. I mean, Rizzo's another breakout guy I think comes back. Jock. This might be one play I play is Jock. Hit 8 home runs. I mean, that's hard to fade. 3-4. I mean, there's your price savings. I know it's outfield, but there's your price savings. So Javi's not hitting great. 17 Ks. Yeah, he's a free swinger. He had a bad year last year. I'm not as confident saying he's going to have a bounce back as Yelich, but I mean, the talent's there. He should. Hayward always does good on opening day. I don't know why, but he does. Not bad. Not really a fan of the old David Butt. Really nothing here. Like I said, the weather's... I would like this game neutral for Chicago, but I'm not huge just because the weather just kind of sucks. You know? If I play anybody, it's Contreras. 5. See, again, these numbers are so high. Ian Happ's not bad at 4-4. My favorite play easily is Jock Peterson. I mean, and really, that's about it. Rizzo smokes him, so maybe Rizzo. I mean, Chris Bryant's hit well off of him. Not really for pop, just 4 doubles. So if you're looking for 9 points or so, maybe more of a cash lineup and then sprinkle a Jock Rizzo a few into. I don't think it's a full wrap. Maybe a 3-man in GPPs. I don't see him exploding for more than 5. 3 or 4, maybe a pop here, a few doubles. But that's about it. It's a win game. Pitchers bump. Not a big fan of Cole. Few bats. So be it. Atlanta. We got it's Nola versus Mr. Fried. Max Fried. Big fan of Fried. Dude's a real life pitcher. He's just not much of a DFS pitcher. How's the weather looking out there? It's blowing in 17 miles an hour, and it's 48. Now, Philly does play like a small park. It doesn't do as much as Chicago, but again, another bumped pitchers. And I'm a big fan of Nola. He pitched well last year after being terrible the year before. Fried just doesn't give up hard contact. Love both of these lineups, but advantage pitchers. Now, am I going to go there with pitchers? I wouldn't go there with Fried. It's kind of ironic because, I'm going all in with Hendricks, kind of the same pitcher. But Pittsburgh's a lot worse of an offense, right? So, about the same price. You could say contrarian, throw a few more ownerships of them out there, but I mean, yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't go hitters here. Pitchers, Nola's 10-1. Atlanta does free swing. They do strike out a lot. I mean, it's not great. It's not terrible. I don't think anybody. Yeah, Acuna smokes him. Ozuna smokes him. Darno smokes him. But bad weather for hitting. I think it's safe to play pitchers here. I wouldn't play Fried. If anything, I play Nola, but 10-1. I mean, if he was 9, I could see him getting to that 25. So maybe a cash game play. But again, we're talking about a pitcher later that's a few hundred more. And it's just kind of another bleh. You know what I mean? Another bleh kind of game. No one's hitting well in spring. I'm so glad he bounced back. I'm a big fan of Dansby, but wouldn't play Pache. They're all expensive. Just won't have much of this game, to be honest. Philly, same side. Kutchin, he's one of those throwback, first lefties only kind of guy. He's hitting pretty good, actually, this spring, which is surprising, but hitting a lefty. Maybe he gets a double or two, but I like that price. That's about it. I'm not a big fan of Roman Quinn. Baum is 4.8. I mean, I love the kid, but 4.8 for was it true rookie year this year? I think my card collectors. Yeah, see McCutcheon. I mean, no one just hits him well. Harper hits him well, and Harper's having a spring. So 5.5. I mean, good gosh, Bryce is crushing the ball right now. I honestly, my dark horse for winning the MVP is Bryce Harper. Period. Yeah, I mean, you could play him. No one's going to talk you off of him. But Bryce, Real Muto, Reese, Baum, McCutcheon. One-offs. I don't even see Atlanta being a little 3-stacker. Like, I can see Chicago, the Cubs, being a little 3-stacker. I see one-offs. I mean, it's probably going to be a 4-2 game. Real Muto hits him well. So Real Muto, I like him too. But what is he, 5.5? Yeah. No. Nope. Not much here. Next game, we have Flaherty and Castillo. What is? Oh, St. Louis is golden. Okay. Again, it's early. Had a late night. Hang in there with me. Two really good pitchers. St. Louis, I'm not a huge fan of their offense. How's weather? Weather is interesting. Okay, so they're playing at Great American Ballpark. which is in Cincinnati, and it's very small. So future self and future viewers, remember Cincinnati at home when it's hot, you play the bats. It's tiny, balls go everywhere. It does look like it's 40 degrees out there, so I think it'll neutralize it a little bit. But it's 17 miles an hour to the outfield. That's quite a bit of breeze. I think it might more neutralize, play more neutral Cincy, which is still a small ballpark. So I would say a little bump to bats here. What does Weather Edge have? Well, actually, Weather Edge likes pitchers a little bit. Interesting. Just because that's comparing it to summer, But compared to the rest of the slate where everything's going to be cold, I would give Cincy a little bump here. So on that, we're going against Flaherty and Castillo. So I'm a big fan of both these pitchers. Now, am I a big fan of them today? No. I think Cincinnati's offense is underrated. I think St. Louis got better. I'm a big fan of Goldschmidt and Nato. Just which depends on which Pauly D you got. He strikes out or hits bombs. Yachty's contact guy nowadays. I know a lot of people on Carlson. I see the athleticism. He's just got to put it together. Tyler O'Neill, good spring apparently. Big pop. So I'm pretty sure there's a lot of BVP here. Yeah. Arenado's hit him. Okay. Edman, 4 hits, 1 double. So, sorry, my work is starting soon. All right, we're fine. Paul has hit him a couple times. Not good average. So, really not a lot of BVP working in favor of the bats. I've never been a fan of DFS playing St. Louis. I don't know why. Maybe it's the ballpark. Maybe because they don't have it. It's a good lineup, but it's not one that you run stacks on, right? So I could see a 3-man. Maybe. Again, let's see ownership. If you feel that kind of way, if you see ownership, yeah, another low owned. Just kind of I like it. Prices aren't terrible. 5-1 for Pauly is and Notto's 5-3. Kind of expensive, to be honest. Maybe Nato has that first game in a new uni home run. It's okay. Not a huge fan. I think there's better spots. As for Castillo, this team doesn't really strike out a ton. I love Luis Castillo, so I could see it. But how much is he? He's super expensive, is he not? Yeah, 9.2. So he needs to get like 26, 27. Yeah, I could see it. He's a stud. It's fine. Cincy. We have Flaherty. Flaherty is 8.6. Cincy has an underrated lineup. Like, I love Winker at the end of last year. He started tearing the ball up. Castellanos is one of the purest hitters in baseball. Votto, as he doesn't hit home runs, and I know that's his little thing, but dude's a single all day. Hard to throw a pitcher against. Suarez, I hope he has a bounce back here, but he's a walking strikeout machine when he's not doing well. 23 out of 45. Again, i.e. Sano. Moose, again, a purely underrated hitter, but doesn't look like he's hitting the ball well right now. Senzel, strikeout or bust, but looks like he's on a good one, so that's good. Jonathan India's a stud. Just young rookie. But, see, these prices are a little bit more realistic. Throwing a little shot at Jonathan India, Senzel. Four's okay. Like, it's a little high for Winker. I would rather in the 3, especially in cold weather. He definitely benefits with a little bit extra, right? Castellanos at 5.1's expensive. Votto, if you don't hit home runs, why would you pay 4.7 for someone? I'm just being honest. Suarez isn't seeing the ball. So, if I went anything in this game, maybe like India, Senzel. Punt Barnhart. He's not going to do much for you, but he's there. Winker. Yeah, it's a good 3 to 4 wraparound, but again, this whole game just kind of blah. I think Flaherty's great, and he's only 8'6", so that's not terrible. So he could survive this game and get you 22, 23 points. I feel like this whole slate has a lot of pitchers between that 7 to 8 and then like that 8 to 9 that are all kind of the same, right? So it's a really good day. I'm doing max GPP, like 20 lineups or whatever it is. And honestly, I'm just going to sprinkle most of them because it's really hard to say why this pitcher is so much better than this pitcher. I mean, we can go off spring training numbers. We can go off history, but, someone learns a pitch in the offseason and he's back and, whatever the case might be. So another blah game. I love both pitchers. I don't love the spot for both pitchers. Both offenses have a slight boost, but going against good pitchers, so take it for what it's worth. Now, this is, on the other side, is my dude. So we got Alcantara versus Glasnow. Alcantara isn't a guy that I've really – he's fine, right? Like, you pick on him with lefties, and you pick on him with lefty pop, which Tampa does have. And I was trying to look earlier, but it wasn't out. I was trying to see if the roof was going to be open in Miami, but nothing is still out. Nothing's out. So if the roof's open, which I think it's supposed to be raining there, so I would have to assume it's not going to be open. But play Alcantara if it is. No, play the bats if the roof's open. But, I think Meadows is a stud, but again, it looks like he's struggling again. I really hope he bounces back. Randy, I know what he did in the playoffs. Everybody labels him as superstar, but I still need more time with him. Lau is good hitting lefty, but he's not seeing the ball great. Yandy Diaz, I don't even know if he's supposed to be in the starting lineup today. Yoshi, dude, I played him so much and got burnt by him, but again, power hitting lefty. So, really, righty. Of course, the righties are hitting the ball well. Margot's hitting well. Willie Adames hitting well. Joey Wendell, I bet he starts today. So, he's a little pop in him. So, I don't really like the lineup here. If the roof's closed, it's going to play big. So, maybe my Alcantara fans can say, at 6'5", I could see it. I could see him getting there. I could see 18 points out of him. But the problem is you're going to have to beat which pitcher I like the most is Glasnow on the other side. So, don't really like the offense. Alcantara, if he got that win, I think is a good play if he gets about 20 points. But this lineup's going to have to be Glasnow. And Glasnow is a hard throw-in, fastball, just the chunkiest, dunkiest curveball. And I think he developed a slider or a changeup, something. But if he had a third pitch that was a K pitch like his curveball, dude, he's winning the Cy Young, period. The dude's a stud. There's people, I think it was Clint Frazier in a interview I saw the other day that said he faced him. And he's so tall and lengthy that when he strides and lets go of the ball, he's like, I'm not kidding. It looks like the ball is already past you and looks like he's in the batter's box with you. His MO has always been heavy contact because it's fastball high, curveball down, which is a lot of people's stuff. But if he gets that third pitch, dude, watch out. So I don't like the bats here. Big ballpark. You could take a YOLO on, Aguilar. It looks like they're hitting okay. Starlin. That's about it. Duvall, big fan of him. He's home run or bust. So there's a couple one-offs, maybe, because Glasnow does get hit okay hard. He does give up home runs. There you are, righties, 8. So I could see it. Jazz, I think he will be good, but, 3 home runs, 270, that's not bad. So, again, one-offs, but I love Glasnow here. He's worth 8.8. I don't know how long his leash is, but I could see. I mean, I think a lot of pitchers will only be 75 to 85 pitches. I could see full 85 pitches and having 12 Ks. You know, Miami in the past have been little pests, little slap hitters, and would mess up your Ks. He's going to need 8 or 9 Ks to be the play of the day. Miami is those guys that will ruin it for you, but I don't know. I love him. I think it's a great spot for him. Only a few more games left. So here's my beginning DFS family. We are on. This is called Coors. Nothing about it. You play Coors. The weather is supposed to be 70 out there too. So maybe the hottest temperature of all the games is in Colorado, ironically. And I think they just had a blizzard or something like, not a blizzard, but like snow like yesterday. That's funny. So that's going to play more to bump. So when we're talking about everything's in the middle, this is offense. 100% you play offense here. And so to what to look for in the future, the only thing that does well in Colorado, not really well, but does okay, is sideways stuff from pitchers. And I mean, if you throw hard, it can get you by, but Marquez or what Marquis, Herman, everybody's pronounced them different, but he's an okay pitcher outside of Coors, but in Coors, he handles his own, if you will. Kershaw, I love him. I actually watched him in high school playing at his rival high school growing up. Dude's a stud. Dude's a great guy. But he's losing his velo over the years. And he has vertical, which does not play well in Colorado with that loopy curveball. So I know Colorado's lineup isn't great, but we'll get to him. I don't like either pitcher here. For 9.5, no way. If he was more like 7, maybe, but 9.5, no way. I'm sorry, but if this game's even in Los Angeles, I don't know. I mean, I know he ended the year well last year, and I know when you think Kershaw, you're like Cy Young, GOAT, whatever, but he's losing a little velo. I think his spring training was not very good, but I'm not saying he's done. I'm just saying he ain't right now. He ain't Kershaw, right? So I think you can get away with stacking both lineups. Ownership's going to be super high for the Dodgers. Yeah, I mean, dude, the lowest projected is like 15 to 20% owned. So is it worth it? Yeah, possibly, probably. They're expensive, but usually Coors is. I don't really see anybody I wouldn't play. I was looking at this earlier. Belly's looking good. Seager is my pick for MVP this year. I'm a huge fan of Corey. I think he's out to prove something this year. Obviously, you got to love Mookie. Turner, he is what it is. I don't think he's a great play, but he's just kind of he's going to bat 3 or 4, and there's going to be ducks on the pond, and it's about if he can drive them in. And Coors, you want to play power. I mean, you really want to play all of it. All of it plays, right? So you can play contact, power, whatever, but it's really big. So if you have someone super fast, they'll get triples, doubles, whatever. I mean, power, you can see them hit 500-foot bombs, whatever. But, I mean, you play the lineup. There's not a person I wouldn't play. It looks like Pollock's not hitting well, but his BVP was stupid, I think. 9 for 22, 409 average, no home runs. So he's there. 4.6, a little high. Chris Taylor's hitting 311 with 5 home runs. Okay, well, so there's a little, if you want to call value. Now, Gavin Lux, if he plays, he's got that speed, double, triple guy, a little bit of pop. So I don't think he was projected to play. But, again, I don't think you can miss out. I'm not huge on Turner. So Mookie, Seager, Belly, Will is crushing the ball. I mean, Muncy, I really hope he has a bounce back. But, Yeah, you play all of them. You don't play Herman. I'm sorry, you don't. Kershaw, no. So this is where it's weird, right? You have Coors. You have great environment to hit. You're going against Kershaw. I think Kershaw will hold his own. Definitely not from a DraftKings perspective. But that's about it. Not a big fan of Hampson. Not much of an OPS guy. 1 home run. Story is your play here, or Crone. Brandon Rogers would be, but I think he tore his hammy or something. Diaz for 2.7, get a piece of Coors, but I don't think you go crazy on this side. I think it's just kind of there, right? 3.39, 1 home run. So maybe a 3-man, sprinkling every other lineup with a one-off. Like CJ Crone, that's huge, dude. 350, 3.8, 5 home runs. I know he's not a great hitter, only because he's a strike. Well, he's a good hitter. He just gets hurt a lot. But I would say that's one of my favorite plays on the slate. CJ Crone for 3.8. Story. I mean, it's Story. Got to love him. Blackman has a good BVP off him. Yeah, 4 bombs. But 63 at bat. So I could see it. Not him and Story aren't hitting great right now, but that's okay. Yeah, 3-man, maybe a few one-offs, whatever. So we have Yu Darvish versus. Need more coffee, fellas. Yu Darvish versus Mad Bum. You know what's funny is 2 years ago, I would have a completely different swap on what pitcher I would use here, but because Yu was leaving the Rangers and he kind of pancaking everywhere, and Mad Bum was in his peak before he tore up his shoulder in the, what was it, a 4-wheeler accident or something? But anyways, this one is sneaky. I don't know how sneaky. I haven't looked at percentages yet, but sneaky for bats. I think Arizona, this is in San Diego. Yeah, just kidding. I thought it was in Arizona. So San Diego plays big. Wow, Weather Edge does like it. It's supposed to be 85 and wind blowing out. So we're back to sneaky. Padres is a big ballpark. Unless you have stuff like this, you don't play San Diego offense-wise because of the ballpark, not because of the team, because of the ballpark. So I would say slight bump to bats, maybe a little bit more than slight, but that's a good, because I thought this was in Arizona with the roof open, and dude, that ball flies out there. It's not as good as that, but I'll take it. So I like you here. I don't think Arizona's very good. They got pieces. They're cheap. Like Ketel Marte, stud. Peralta is pretty solid versus righties. Eduardo is good 2 years ago. Had a horrible year last year. Could bounce back. I don't know. He was getting up there in age. Rojas, he's having a really good spring training. Okay. Kind of where I feel. I mean, Ahmed, we know, is a gold glove or platinum glove. Pavin Smith is just there. He's having a decent year, whatever. But you will shove. He's 10-4. He's your cash play. He's going to get you 25, get you the win. He's there. Do you have to play him today? No. But he's there. Will he go 100 pitches, get 12 strikeouts, whatever the case might be, to blow up the slate so you can't catch up? I would have to go with no. But he's there. He's 25-30. Lock it in. You do with what you want. San Diego. Now, this is where stuff gets interesting. Mad Bum. Did I not update this? Sorry. That's supposed to be Mad Bum. But Mad Bum is a lefty. For anybody, well, I guess. Mad Bum lefty. Okay. I like the offense here. Tatis putting up a show. Young cat. Doing everything. I mean, Tommy Pham's a stud. Machado. Hosmer, I don't think he has good splits, but I think they get Mad Bum out early, and I wouldn't really play the split neutral game here. Will Myers is a stud, smoking the ball. Love that play at 4-7. Jake, he's good. Again, I think what you want is the lineup to keep flipping, and this thing is just going to roll. I think Bum doesn't make it 3 innings. I could be completely wrong. Maybe his spring training this year was a fluke, and so was last year when he was horrible was a fluke. But, I think really something happened when he hurt his shoulder, and he just hasn't recovered it, Not a big fan of Profar. He's better on the left side, but, again, this thing's going to roll. You could play any of them. Now, the good plays aren't going to be your cheaper guys, right? It's going to be up here between this. Tommy Pham's 3-1. That's a joke. I just saw that. Holy smokes. Wow. I like Myers, I like Tommy Pham. If you can squeeze Tatis and Machado in there, do it. Dude, they're going to smoke them. Yeah, Tatis has 2 home runs and 11 at-bats. 3 home runs in 24. Yeah. I wouldn't take this as much. This is with good and bad Mad Bum. I would look at that. That's Will Myers is going to smoke him. So this, I don't know how sneaky this is, but I like this lineup a lot today. A lot. It doesn't look to be very sneaky. But last game, we got my squad, the throw-up squad, versus the Royals. Pitching-wise, we're going to be off all year. Offensive-wise, it'll be fun because we're finally going young. We have pieces. We're not going to be good, but I do want to see what some of our young pieces will do. I think they'll be scrappy. I don't think they'll be the strikeout prone they've been, but they're not going to be the power team they've been either. Just for future watchers, Texas is not going to be Texas anymore. The ball's not flying in that stadium. It's big. Players talk about it. It's just different. But to this game, it's what? Keller versus Gibson. Keller versus Gibson, yeah. Both, both, no. Weather Edge has this to say, dude, 50%. Winds blowing in 15. No, wind's only blowing in 5 miles an hour. But it's in Kansas City, one of the biggest ballparks in the league. Just don't pick the pitchers. They're both not very good. Could they get you there? I guess. Could I you know what? I see Kansas City as a low-key kind of decent lineup as much as I see the Rangers. I know I'm tooting the Rangers' horn a little bit on offense. I don't think their pitching's worth anything, but their offense will have days, and we're going to play them. But as for today, it's just not a great ballpark. I know that's most games. There's only 2 or 3 good or above average spots on offense, but it's just another one of those that the ballpark's just not helpful. But IKF, I think he's going to be a good play. He's not much of a pop, but he hits well. So what you could do is play this bigger ballpark with speed and just hope the lineup rotates a lot. And I could see that. I'm a huge fan of Dahl. I love that pickup. Now, he's not going to get you a home run. IKF won't get you a home run, but what they could do is single and double. And Joey Gallo's smoking the ball right now. So I could see Joey Gallo going out there. He's one of my favorite plays of the day at 3.6. Now, the ballpark's not in his favor, but he hits the ball 600 feet, so it doesn't really matter which ballpark he plays at. I think Nate Lowe is a sneaky. I think there's an E there, but I'm not fixing it. A sneaky pickup. I don't think he's amazing or anything, but I think he has potential. Young cat. 1 home run. He's not hitting the ball tremendous, whatever. Solak's going to be a stud, man. 313 average, 4 home runs. He just kind of does it all at 2.9. All you need is a couple RBI doubles, and you make price. So at 2.9, again, I think price-wise, you could run stacks of this with Coors and makes it fit. Now, am I saying these guys 3 or 4K if I play much of any of them? No. Price-wise, you could squeeze a few. Guzman, man, he's one of those guys that we were waiting on the pop to come back, and he's showing that home run pop is coming back and transcending through the majors like it was the minors. So he's always been kind of an average guy. Dude can stretch for days. He's a good defensive guy. But if what we've seen during the spring, if he can hit, I love Guzman. I love Gallo. Solak I like. You got to like stuff like Tavares that just hits and is fast. If he gets on, he's stealing. Does that say Trevino has 2 steals? Wow, he does. Trevino, he's not having a good spring, but he's got a little pop to him. Brock Holt's just a little slappy guy. You need a 2 RBI double or a few hits. So 2-1 to pay that off. I mean, you need a hit and RBI, right? So I like it from a price standpoint. Ballpark kind of sucks. Don't like the pitchers. I think they get BABIP today. It's kind of the same thing for the opposite side, right? I love Witt. I don't care what weather or anything he's in. He does everything. Literally steals. I mean, dude, pop, average, everything. Witt's one of my favorite players. I wish the Rangers would ironically get him. But 5.2 is a little pricey, so maybe you don't go there. I mean, I would definitely sprinkle him if you're playing multiple. Benintendi, such a big fan of his, but he still doesn't look like it's just back yet. Solaire's been hitting the ball again. I mean, he's not one of those guys that his power plays, and it doesn't matter the ballpark. So you could 2.8 for Solaire. That's tough to avoid. Santana looks like he's having a pretty good spring, so he can pull the ball. Salvi, he's such a good hitter. He's such a good defender. He's just such a good catcher. But 5.2 at catcher, it's a hard pill to swallow, man. I don't look at his average. He's terrible. 7 home runs versus lefties. I mean, Gibson's just average. So Hunter Dozier, stud. I mean, this lineup's pretty solid, but you play Dozier, you play Soler, you play Santana. Kyle, he's young, he's a rookie, but he's showing promising. I think his last league he played in was single A, but sorry, I'm getting a little tired, need more coffee. And in the future I want to do cuts and be more energy towards the end, but I'm just trying to get something out for you guys today. So Michael A. Taylor, no. Nicky Lopez, no. But yeah, that's about it. Benintendi, Merrifield. Yeah, you play Merrifield just because it's Merrifield, Benintendi. Yeah, the rest are those pieces. So, but that will wrap up today. Thanks for the 7 people that stuck through and watched the whole thing. I know it's going to be late. I know you'll probably have most of your research done. And this did go on a lot longer than I wanted it to be. But, again, first video. I'll learn. You'll learn. Next time, hopefully, we can use more advanced than my 5-hour spring training Excel document I made. But it is what it is. I want to get something out. It was honestly a lot more fun than I thought. I would like to co-host with people. I'm better, and I think it's more fun to listen to 2 opinions rather than one guy just blabbling in circles, right? But thanks for listening. Again, first ever episode, hopefully of many. And, I know everybody says it, but please like, subscribe, ring the bell, comment, tell me what I suck at, tell me what you like, tell me what you want to hear. It's the only way this thing has a chance of growing and me personally growing. So, again, thanks and good luck. Have a fun, work hard first, but have a good day at opening day. Bye.